Good morning. Okay, well then, in the interest of everyone's time, I'm going to go ahead and start the program and everyone can connect. We'll continue to connect. Good morning to all of you in Delaware. Good afternoon, Christelle in France. Thank you all today for joining us. I am Beth Popper, and I am in charge of the trade side for the state of Delaware. And I'm very happy to be with you all this morning. Also on the line from the Export Delaware side, we have Cynthia Kane, who leads the corporations and the legal side of the international program for us here on the state. Good morning, Cynthia.
Good morning.
And we have Emma Potler, who's our Director of Marketing for the state. And a warm welcome to our newest member of our Export Delaware family, Christelle Maffre from OCO Global in France. Good afternoon, Christelle, and thank you. And,
good morning to you all.
And welcome, Chief Justice Trainer. Welcome to our Global Conversation series. We're very happy to have you with us.
I'm pleased to be here, but for clarity's sake, I'm not the Chief Justice. I'm a mere justice.
Well, that's close enough, but thank you. Thank you for correcting me.
CJ Seitz is our excellent Chief Justice.
We have Delaware state trade offices around the world, and each year or two, when I update the strategic plan for the state, we expand our Delaware footprint. And we're very happy to include France in our program as well, starting now with the inclusion of OCO Global in Paris and Christelle at the lead. It's very interesting that the US-France Commercial and Economic Alliance is one of this country's oldest and closest. The US and France established diplomatic relations in 1778. And that was the signing of America's first trade agreement. So it's our first trade agreement, and it's our oldest and closest relationship. It's important to note for everybody on the line that over $1 billion in commercial transactions takes place every single day between our two countries. This is not just in the sale of products and services. For the legal team on the line, it also includes the sale of corporations. So France has tremendous appeal for both sides of our programs. The US is the top foreign destination for French investment. For legal, and it's very, very good for our attorneys that are looking to attract corporate formations in Delaware. Alan Statura from CT is on the line. We're very happy to have Alan join us this morning as well. And Alan, you'll see as you listen to the presentation, Christelle works a lot in this area with French firms that are looking for a US home to incorporate, and also often refers them, of course, to Delaware. Last year, Delaware exported over $139 million worth of products to France. France was chosen as a target for Delaware because the country offers tremendous opportunity for the kinds of products and services that our Delaware small and medium-sized businesses produce. Many of you that are engaged with us this morning provide products that are used in the aircraft industry, whether it's machinery from Accudyne or whether it's equipment from Oasis. That has tremendous potential in France. as does the bioscience industry, medical and technical equipment, and all sorts of products that are used in pharmaceutical manufacturing. I see Harry Wang and Stephanie Rosenberg on the line. That's part of the reason why when we looked at the market, definitely it has potential for setbacks and advanced materials technology. It also has potential for ICT and for smart cities. And we have several companies as well in Delaware that are also working on that. But you all tuned in to hear Christelle Maffre, and it's my honor to introduce Christelle to all of you and to welcome her to the Export Delaware family. A little bit about Christelle. She was manager of trade and foreign direct investment at OCO Global in France. She's a lead senior trade and investment consultant at OCO. For all of you that have worked with us before, you know that when we revamped the international program, we run it as like a business. We are a state, but we run it like a business. And it's important to note that every single one of our foreign trade offices have significant private sector experience. They work with other states, other governments, but they don't become our trade representative unless they have significant experience in working with private sector firms, and they continue to do so. And Christelle comes with us with the perfect match of both. She has 18 years experience in international business development. She spent 14 of them leading the French retail supermarket company Auchan, managing events and public relations here in Houston. She spent 5 years as manager of international business development for the French clean tech cluster EA. She was the US representative of the Western France Investment Promotion Agency in Houston before moving to Brussels to head the lead generation and training services at senior consultant at OCO Global. OCO Global is the firm that she leads and that she works for and that we have retained to help be our boots on the ground in France. She has assisted hundreds of companies in their export expansion efforts throughout her career, and she holds a master's degree in cross-cultural negotiation. So we welcome you, Christelle, to the Export Delaware family, and we look forward to future programs. For all of you, we want to make this like a conversation. So please, please, please feel free to unmute yourselves and ask questions along the way. There's no need to wait until the end. Okay, if you're having difficulty unmuting, you can type your question in the chat box and we'll see if Emma can help you from a technical standpoint unmute your line so that you can ask your question, or I will ask it directly for you. So thank you, Christelle. I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Beth. So I'm really happy and pleased to be the new Export Delaware member family for France. And I'm hoping that we will bring you some, I will say, interest into the French market this morning, and also be able to support you if you have any question regarding the trade that you could do with the market. Thanks, Beck, for the introduction. And with my experience between the US and France, I spent 10 years, like Beth said, in the US. And now I'm back for the past 15 years in Europe, in Brussels and France. So I'm just going to go over some overview of the market. And also, if you have any details or question in one of the slides, please interrupt me or ask the question during the time that I'm presenting, because it will be more a discussion on my side. Beth was saying that OCO Global then support company to export. We are globally located, and I think you have a presentation last week on other offices who are now part of the network of Export Delaware as well. We are a company with 100 employees, consultant, headquarters in Belfast. We have 4 different offices in Europe who are based in Belfast, London, Germany, and France. We also have the Middle East in Dubai. We have 2 offices in Asia, who are in Shanghai and Tokyo. And we have 2 offices in New York and Los Angeles. And we also have an office in Bogota. Regarding the trade side, I just wanted to give you a quick information about what we can provide to a company, but also what we can provide to a government agency like Export Delaware. So when it's really important for a company to assess the market, but as well to enter and then to grow and support the expansion on the market. So we are supporting the 3 phases. The first one will be really to understand the market by market intelligence, everything related to legal, tax, and regulatory assistance that we can provide. Then after, when you're ready to understand the market, then we're gonna help you to prepare to go to the market by supporting you market entry support. Is it going through agent, direct sales, a distributor? We will do lead generation for you and also supporting trade mission into trade show and also government agencies mission as well. And then after this, I will say a little bit flavor of the market, and you find a distributor, and then you have to grow in this market and support that grow. So we will help you to do a business development on the ground, attend to trade show and follow up after those trade show if needed. And at the later stage, if you really need it as well, if you need to set up a location in France, we can also assist you with the support of our local partners. We will see today 4 different things. So the first one will go a little bit about what Beth was telling about the relationship between France and the US. Then I will speak a little bit about the Delaware and France relationship. And then I will catch up with the COVID-19 and also opportunity arising with COVID. And then a few sectors that I would like to highlight with the people attending the conference. I will highlight several sectors. Just to give you another view of the French fact and figures. So France is the largest European economy after Germany and the UK. We have a population of 67 million inhabitants. Is the 7th largest world economy. And even if we have a certain region in France that you can see on the different color, France is really centralized. A lot of things are happening in Paris. But now, slowly but surely, with the new government, we think that they are involving more regulation and also decentralize a little bit in bigger region like Marseille, Lyon, and Toulouse, as well as Nice. Here is a slide that I just wanted to comment on the trade relationship between France and the US. So same thing, France is the 3rd largest partner in Europe for the US after the UK and Germany this time. And we are the 9th largest trade partner globally. We can see on the left side, I did a little bit of graph about the trade relationship with those two countries. It's over 138 billion in trade in goods and services in 2019. You can see the US going into France is 6.3 billion. It's a plus 2.7% from the previous year. The data are from 2019. And the import from France, sorry, the export from France into the States, so it's 78.3 billion. It's an increase of 8.3% on the previous year. On the left side, you can see that I put the trade and the US trade and services with France since 2010 in the past 10 years. And we can see it's increasing a little bit slowly but surely. In the past 10 years, since 2010, the exports grows by 25%. From 45 to 60 billion. And on those billion, I have to admit that in the past few years, 38% of the transaction was mainly of US export to France were related to aerospace product. I think in coming months, we will see a little bit different because aerospace will decline a little bit due to COVID, but I just wanted to mention that on this slide. I'll go quickly as well to my next step about Delaware and France. So like Beth told you a little bit already, France is the 11th partner of export partner, sorry, of the state of Delaware. Last year, the transaction was 137 million USD. And underneath, I just put you a little bit the fact and figure from 2016 up to 2019. And you can see a massive gap from 2018 to 2019, sorry, from 22 million to 137 million. So we explaining this big jump in terms of exceptional sales made it in the civil and aircraft engine, and as well related to metal, the gold metals. On the left side, I just put you a graph about the focus, I would say the more sector focus. So the number one will be being the machinery, the second by 46%, then the chemicals appearing at the second level, then the transportation equipment, the computer and electronics products, as well as plastic and rubber products, and then we have others. So those are the figures between the states. I will speak a little bit about the FDI part, who could be an interest for the people related to the legal side in the call. So I just wanted to show you the French and Delaware relationships in terms of FDI. So actually in the state of Delaware, the French company control, I will say, or created 1,600 jobs. And also we see that France is the fifth partner in jobs creation in the state of Delaware. I hope you can see it on the left side. You can see the French company established in the US since 2016 is data from FDI markets who can give us a little flavor about the growth of the French company interest in the States. So in 2016, we have 85 projects established in the state of, in the United States, sorry. And in 2019, sorry, we had 138 projects established in the United States of America. On the left side, I made the map quickly from the French embassy in the US, giving you some brands, French brands, company located in the state of Delaware, but that's nothing compared to what you have as registered in the States. And that's something I wanted to highlight regarding this aspect. Working on FDI and trade, and working the past 14 years with the state, the United States as a territory for investment, I can see that a lot of French companies, even if they are looking to establish a presence somewhere in California or in Texas or in Florida or in Ohio or Missouri, what they do, they definitely will look at Delaware. But I was just saying to someone earlier in the call that sometimes they said, okay, for tax reason, I really wanted to go to Delaware. But I told them, I said, no, that's not the tax reason. You have the legal reason, and you need to understand why Delaware could be the first step for you in the US before opening a manufacturing, opening a logistic, opening another activity in another state. So I think for you, it's really important to, I would say, educate the French on this part. And I think I can also can support you to do that work in France and promotion. On the third content, I just wanted to give you some feedback about why we just, I would say it's behind us, but unfortunately still really active, and COVID-19 and opportunity arising we are seeing. OCO Global made some research during the COVID, and here on that slide, I can show you the impact in Europe and France about and also the opportunity that could bring in 2021. So on this graph, you can see on the top level that the economic forecasts for Europe and France are not really optimistic for 2020. France is likely to experience a big recession with a minus 8.2%. Due to the situation, obviously, is the same everywhere in Europe. I'm not sure any country will escape it. And it will be harder, I will say, it will be harder in Italy, Spain, and the UK than France. Because on the bottom one, you can see that in 2021, the rebound is expected to be the most favorable for France. It's going to be expected to be 7.4. So, which indicate that opportunity can be found in France and first and foremost. I wanted on this slide just to show you that COVID had caused some of the short-term opportunity and challenges across a lot of sectors and markets. And it was mainly by bringing some opportunity, but also challenges. In terms of opportunity, I would say that I'll indicate that diversification was something that people are now looking at company. COVID has opened up new opportunity for companies to expand into new sector and also diversify their offer, particularly I would say in the medical technology and PPE. Innovation was also a big, I would say, a winner in this COVID, because if I can say winner, because business, with the business disruption, like it never happened before, innovation had become crucial to company. Ability to seize opportunity and adapt to integrate tech into existing system and processes was really important for them. Another one is sustainability. Reduction of travel, a need to stabilize the supply chain has brought to the question of sustainability even more to the forefront of government and public mind than before. And starting again, we have a number of companies who are making that as a challenge and reinventing their strategy and trying to see what they can do tomorrow. And instead of staying on the same format, they will reinvent themselves and rethink their strategy. In terms of challenges, we saw as well that the labor force was really impacted, mainly in the industry, who have been really affected by the lockdown across Europe. The supply chain was really as well impacted due to the interconnectivity and the disruption through Europe and through the US, through Asia. I think it was really difficult to get goods, and that's why we also are now reinventing and trying to find new way to reinvent the supply chain. Travel, one challenge. We'll maybe see it for the Delaware mission. Hopefully you'll be able to travel to France, but nothing is really clear as of today. Business travel has taken a big hit as airline, reducing services and ground fleet and border closed. So we will see that also will impact the industry due to this low travel, I will say, activity. Economic constraint, same thing. The COVID has caused several economic shock, and that's going to be really, we will see in coming months that some business will really struggle. And even if government assistance are not in place yet, every government is really trying to assist the company. On the second slide, I just wanted to show you, OCO Global made a survey during the COVID-19 through partners, through clients in different areas in the world. And we made that table. We can show you basically with the growth of 2019, the growth in Europe, the unemployment in Europe, the supply chain disruption, the demand as well, an overall assessment of the sector. We're going to be on the left side, and to show you if they are low threat or high risk. So I'm just going to point few out who are really low, high risk for me. Overall assessments will be definitely the manufacturing and the automotive, who are going to really suffer from this crisis. We also we can see also at risk the consumer and the retail. And the consumer retail may be also related to the demand, who was really decreasing during the COVID lockdown, at least in Europe, and I think it's continuing in the Americas. But we can see also some increase on demands and low threat. So in terms of increasing, I would say that they have several sectors that are really getting, I would say, not getting well, but at least we rebound quicker. It's going to be related to the life science, I would say, biotech, as well as media and creative industry, as well as financial services related to digital. And those one will be the one who are going to be really rebounding, I would say, faster than some who are going to need it to have some, I would say, consumer rebounds, like travel, like going back to the store to do some shopping. So those sectors will be more impacted than others. On this slide, I just wanted to show you quickly the French government measure put it in place to help and to rebound the French economy. So you have three different kind of support who have been set up. One from the government, I think is a little bit the same everywhere regarding the social and tax payment deadline, tax rebate, delay payment, aid and financial warranty, short time working arrangement to guarantee the maintenance on employment. We have also bank who helps on the state's guaranteed treasury loans schemes. But the one I wanted to show you is more about the BPI France, is the Public Investment Bank in France. So they are, it's a bank supporting mainly the French economy and the company. And they put several things in place, and some of them will be loaned for startup and innovative company, loan also for companies who are getting into difficulty and need for financing. I will speak about some sector. I can tell you already that the automotive, the aerospace, the tourism receive some support already from the state, from the French government. And then also creative industry as well. I just wanted to point also something on the FDI rebounds as well from France into the US, it could be interesting for you. BPI France is now giving loan to French company to continue supporting the export and their international activity and expansion. So they have few loans that they are really launching and supporting now to make sure that the French are also getting activity and export turnover. And sometimes also there are a loan dedicated to support French company expansion abroad. So that could be really interesting for the people in the seminar. Then I will go into my sector focus. I won't go into too much details. I really did a short overview on some of them. Please interrupt me if you have any question. I wanted to start first of all with the French ecosystem. In France, since 2005, the French government created the competitiveness cluster. Those competitiveness clusters are gathering companies in France. There are 56 of those clusters. They are gathering companies on the same sector, subsector. The objective is basically on the national is to innovate, to grow together, to get really a better identification of partner in France. But they have also an objective on the international scene, I would say, is more to identify a specific product or services, identify R&D partners, things like that, that you can use as a foreign company to identify potentially someone that you wanted to work with or to partner with in France. Just to give you an overview quickly about this cluster, we have 56, like I said, 3 are dedicated to the aerospace sector, 21 related to the environment issues, energy, water, waste, smart city, mobility. We have 4 of them related to life science, some medical device, pharma, biotech, e-health now. We have digital and numerics as well. We have a cluster called EMC2. It's basically related to manufacturing technology, the manufacturing 4.0, including the composite as well. We have one called Plastic Police, who is also related to plastic, rubber, and composite. And we have one dedicated to fintech and several related to materials. So we can, depending what your focus will be, we can definitely work with those clusters to make sure that we can go further with you in that, with the identification of potential partners. We counted, but I'm not sure it's currently accurate, more than 200 incubator and accelerator. To give you an example, if you visited Paris, you have Station F, which is kind of a well-known startup incubator accelerator. You can see on this place is welcoming 1,000 startup. And on this, I will say, accelerator incubator site, you can see also all the French big brand like Airbus, e-commerce, vente privée, logistic like CMA CGM, Total, as they create their own accelerator in the sector that they wanted to focus on, and they are welcoming those startups to the Station F accelerator in Paris. We have also the support of the network of entrepreneurs in France, so the MEDEF International, and as well as industry organization as federation and the Chamber of Commerce. The sector that we have a mix of sector in France. I will say we have a little bit less industrial sector than Germany in terms of industrial, but our sector offers a great opportunity for US company. We have the one that are mainly, I will say, obvious sector for France would be the aerospace, the agri-food, the services sector related to as well. It can include fintech as well. It can include marketing. can include a lot of different consultancy services. ICT, the robotic, clean tech, fintech, and ethic will be more recent, I will say, a sector that we saw. For the robotic, France is one of the most advanced countries in terms of development and testing of service robots. In terms of clean tech, we have company also, public organization, authority, R&D center, competitiveness cluster, who are really trying to achieve the goal of France in terms of being energy, I will say, getting into the result of getting energy mix by 2020 of 23% of renewable, and the objective of being by 32% of renewable energy mix by 2030. One thing you need to know is France is the first producer of hydroelectric energy in Europe as well. And that's something I want to highlight thereafter. Fintech and finance, I would say that Paris is the first stock market in Europe. With the Brexit happening in the UK, Paris may exceed London as the financial capital of Europe. And France is also ranked #1 in terms of capital risk. In terms of ethical wellness, I would say that French customers are increasingly careful of the materials, ingredient, origin. It was already the case before COVID, and I think the COVID-19 really implemented that way of consuming. And I think the French are really looking for sustainable, healthy, ethics compliant products. The COVID-19 really helped us to identify some challenges in the tech sector. So we'll give you a little bit overview here about what we find that the tech sector will be rebounding quickly. We had the COVID spreading around the world. We had to readapt our 4G, 5G network. We had also to look at the cybersecurity, the security, because we were using so many digital tools. A lot of as well well-known sites were hacked as well. So we had also to work on privacy. We have so many misinformation as well about trying to get information on the platform like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. So COVID was really bringing a lot of confusion as well. And it rises basically that the tech is really important, but you have also to get also some support and make sure that you were secure as well, and bringing more cybersecurity, some compliance, and everything related the attack could happen in the supply chain, in hospital, in big and major company. Now we'll go into the ICT and tech sector in France. So I made a short slide in some of the sector. In terms of ICT and tech in France, you can see that the sector is basically around representing 130,000 businesses, creating a little bit a turnover 128 billion USD, employing 720,000 employees in France, representing 3.8% of the GDP. In terms of growth in the digital tech, it's basically 25% of the French growth expected. As far as the ICT sector in Europe, that we can see that we are again behind the UK and Germany. That's all obvious, all the time the case about those two major economies. But you can see also that it's bringing a lot of opportunity for US company. You can see that on the left side, you have 10 billion imports from the US computer software and marketing services. And on the other side, you have 9.8 billion import from the US on telecommunication markets. Underneath, you can see the segmentation of the markets. So you can see that 52% are related to the telecommunication, 19% are related to the software development, 15% to other services, 8% into the software edition, and 6% into the service delivery as a sector segmentation for the ICT in France. Also, you know that, and that's something I just want to mention also about the GDPR, because you know that the cybersecurity concern as well, the GDPR implementation in Europe. And this change will have an impact as well on the approach of the cloud provider. And also we needed to update approach of those affected by those new regulations. So you need to be also aware about this GDPR implementation, that to make sure that when you are crossing Europe, and if you are new to export in Europe, to make sure that you are following this regulation. Quick information about the ICT and key player and location. We have two major hubs, I will say, in France regarding the ICT sector. The first one being the capital, Paris region, who is the first ICT ecosystem in Europe in terms of presence of company and in terms of workforce in Paris region. We have three, I just show you three major brands that you have also, I'm sure, in your state. It's Capgemini, Orange, and IBM as a US, but they have 10,000 employees in France, IBM. And on those 10,000, you have 6,000 located in the Paris region. The second region will be into the Auvergne-Rhône-Alpes region in France, is around Lyon, the second city in France, where you have also some major actors who are Soprasteria, who is a French company, European leader in digital transformation, with 46,000 employees in 25 countries. Going into the aerospace and defense sector, this one will be something that will be really hit by the COVID crisis. We saw the decrease into commercial airline travel, so the order for the airline are not there anymore. So we've seen that Airbus is going to go into a massive recession, and as well as Dassault and Thales following up as tier one, and Thales, sorry, and Safran as tier one, sorry. Dassault is a little bit more into control because it's small executive aviation, and I think this one will be a little bit better than just the commercial ones. In terms of the aerospace industry, is still number one, the largest industrial sector in Europe for us. On the left side, I put a little map of France. Is just to show you, the little dot will show you the presence of aerospace activity into France. I don't know if you can see it here, but that's going to be the small map on the left side of the large industrial sector. The sector represents 58 billion USD, sorry, in terms of turnover, employing indirect and direct work of 300,000 people, mainly in manufacturing and also on R&D work. And is the second largest exporter in the world is the aerospace sector for us. One trade show that you well known as well is the Paris Air Show, taking place every 2 years. I would say, fortunately for us, the Paris Air Show will take place next year in 2021 if everything goes back on track. Not sure it's going to be the best trade show for a commercial airline, but hopefully by then, I think the economy will reverse, and then we will see more activity and business going back. I just wanted to highlight, I told you earlier in the presentation that the French government implemented some loan and gave some money to some of the sector. I have to say that the government gave 17 billion to the aerospace sector and defense in France to make sure they can recover after COVID-19. The next slide will show you quickly about the composite sector. I think we have some Delaware company interested in that sector. Though the sector represents a little bit less than 4,000 companies in France, employing 133,000 employees, mainly employed by SMEs, 90% employed by SMEs. We have turnover of 37.1 billion, mainly in plastic and composite. The turnover is from 2018 data. And we have one of the major trade shows that was supposed to take place in March in Paris, was the JEC World. It's the major trade show related to composite in France. We know that the composite market size is projected in the world to basically grow from 19 billion in 2019, expected to be at 131 billion by 2024. So the composite really offer exceptional, I would say, offer really good opportunity for company. And on the left side, that you can see that we have different information about the market. So the orange one being the natural fiber. The natural fiber composite are the fastest growing fiber type of composite in the market. It's basically the use of alternative use of the glass fiber composite in many end-use industries. So this one is the most growing. In terms of thermoplastic composite, we have the resin, who is the fastest growing thermoplastic. Sorry, is the fastest growing resin type of composite. Sorry, it's used basically in the thermoplastic composite during the industry related to it. Then the resin transfer molding is the fastest growing manufacturing process in the composite market. And the green one, being the wind energy, is basically the fastest growing end users industry of composites. So it's basically related to wind energies. I just did a short overview of the plastic one because I know we may have some interest in the state of Delaware. So on the left side, you can see the data coming up from the INSEE in France, giving you an overview of the plastic chain value in terms of turnover and also employees, and also the plastic converting as well, converting all the perimeter of plastic company, including the one outside of plastic, but using plastics. And everything related to the plastic industry. So you can see that in France, the plastic value chain is really an important, I would say, market opportunity for a foreign company. On the left side, you can see the plastic consumption by sector. So the first one being the packaging allocated, the second one, the construction. The third one was automotive. We will see how that things will evolve in 2019 and 20. Agriculture and electronics are using a little bit less, but still a consumption of plastic in France. One side quickly to show you the smart city and mobility sector. On this graph, first of all, I just wanted to tell you that the smart city are really the next wave, I would say. The global market on the left side, you can see that the global market will be growing like massively. Increased growth in employment in next 10 years, we are estimate the global smart market to range from a huge consumption in smart governance, smart building. On the left side, that you can see the relation with the, I will say also the tech and the smart city will be related to several issues, the water, as well as the ICT, the maintenance of equipment, the data, being on real-time data, anything related to access as well, security, cybersecurity, and also the consumption, the efficiency of consumption of energy. So those things are basically related to smart energy and mobility sector. I want just to go into more details about what's going on in French cities initiative. I just took, for example, and you can see I took the capital, Paris, then Lyon, Toulouse, and Nantes, who are going to be the cities who are showing more, I would say, initiative. The ICT is basically related to everything on urban territories. It's giving you basically some support to bring more, I would say, more efficiency and more, I would say, environmental friendly as well. Control of mobility, transport, control of consumption, as well as helping citizens to look at their own consumption. You can also look at the private cities, the city, sorry, working with the private sector. I will give you some information about what's going on in the Quartier de la Création in Nantes. They created a creative district. They also looking at doing a hospital of the future. In Toulouse, the places where the aerospace is basically located, we can see a mobility and intelligent transport system. Same thing, we are also working a lot in the area of Toulouse about autonomy and silver economy for the population who are getting older, and then the energy grids, environment, and e-services. One focus, I didn't want to focus into the life science in general, so I decided today to show you the e-health and then after the medical sector. Regarding the e-health sector, I would say that France is the 5th largest market in the world. We actually counting 200 e-health company in France for a turnover of 3 billion in the markets turnover, sorry, USD. And employment the employment is 3,000 people, 30,000 people, sorry. I just wanted to highlight in the health sector that we have 7 healthcare innovation sector in France, but 7 related to e-health, but several are related as well to a certain field of application in life science, in pharma, or in medical technology. The one I wanted to highlight is basically the French new healthcare act adopted by the parliament in mid-2019. It's basically based on the government My Health Plan 2020, and it's seeking to foster the economy e-health information. So we are seeing that the French government wants to launch the national healthcare digitalization, and they had a strategy implementation, including electronic health record, e-prescription, e-health platform, including as well artificial intelligence, sorry. Also, they are trying to support the telemedicine, especially for region facing lower physician to patient ratio. We have several regions in France who are really, I would say, consider a countryside, and they have less practitioners than a major city. So this one could be really helping this region in France to get more support on the bringing health to patients. Also, the health analytic to foster early stage treatment can be something that the French government wants to focus on. In terms of medical device, I would say that the market is the 5th largest market in the world, a little bit than 1,500 businesses, representing 33 billion in sales on the French market, employing 90,000 employees. In terms of employment, you can see 50,000 people are employed by French company, and 40,000 are employed already in France by international companies already established in France. In terms of trends, I just would like to push a little bit the 4 trends that we saw in medical device, and I think it's a little bit the case in the United States. The population aging is one of the ones that we needed to see in future trade for us as silver economy. Increase of the chronic disease as well, the rise of health expenditure in France, and the integration of patient-centered digital tool. So that's also from the prevention to the follow-up of the patient. But those are the trends that I think the medical device sector should look at, and who could be really interesting for France. In terms of demand, we have the French demand for medical device equipment estimated at 40.3 billion USD, and the import for the US forecast at 4.7 billion. It was a forecast in 2020, as we don't have any back information on the first months. In terms of demands, I would say that the demands will be related to diagnostic equipment, rehabilitation, surgery equipment, a lot, PPE, medical prosthesis, intensive care, and hygiene. Those are the ones that we can see a demand on as well in France. But the situation may evolve with the COVID, because I think in terms of medical surgery equipment and protection, I think we are now getting to the level that we are during the COVID crisis, identify a lot of suppliers who can really supply those kind of material to this country. And I think you did the same in the United States. For the one who will be interested, I think this one is going to be really the regulation of medical device market. We can work on one-to-one with you regarding your entry into the French market in terms of regulation, and support you with the perfect partner as well to show you that we can go over regulation quickly in France as well. I will finish by giving you some tips that I think for you it could be interesting. For me, even if the COVID applying, we can see a lot of opportunity in France, and mainly due to the diversification. Supply chain are being revisited. 45% of companies are looking to new market and new suppliers. I would say that it's also related to many SMEs are not going to survive, I have to say and admit it, in France as well. and competition is decreasing and consolidation is likely happening. One thing's also, I was telling you, revisiting, finding new market, new suppliers. Nothing is about the price anymore. It's more about the relationship, the resilience, and having someone who is reliable, a partner that you can really count on. So I think now is the new next step for this relationship. I would say it was basically based on the pricing, and now I think more about the trust and the resilience of the partnership. And then the last, and not the least, I will say, but the quality and sustainability and trusted product. I think also the French consumer and the French, I would say, clients for you will be looking at the quality, sustainability, and the trust product that you can bring to them. And also they are looking at really getting a trust and a good partnership going on. So that will be my ending word. And I just wanted to, I'm open to question. I think I'm on timing is good. We have 8 more minutes, I will say, to do some questions. So I'm open to the question, and thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Christelle. That was excellent. We have planned a visit to France, trade mission business meetings with Christelle the first week in December. I will let all of you know that we are going to start to work on that now. So if any of you are interested, please let us know. Should we be unable to travel, we will turn it into a virtual program. But do any of you have any questions at this time for Christelle?
Beth, this is Harry Wang from Cepex Technologies. I do have one. Christelle, thank you very much for the excellent overview of the French market and industries. I didn't hear much about pharmaceutical or biopharmaceuticals or life science in general. How is the French in comparison with, say, Italy, Ireland, and Germany in that regard in terms of biopharmaceutical manufacturing?
I have to say it's still a sector that from COVID is really going well. I have to say we don't see that too much impact, and this one had a low increase and a low, impact. But I didn't do the focus on that, but I can definitely, if you are interested, I can send you quickly an overview of that. And then we can discuss at a later stage if you want me to, but I can prepare something for you and send it to Beth. And then you can see an overview of what's going on. And also I'll try to see, I think in Italy, we see a little bit of, I would say decline. Germany still will high, and Ireland as well. But France is still a major player on that. So I think we have opportunity to partner, I would say, in this area.
Wonderful. Yeah, thank you very much.
Hey, Christelle, this is Al Scheinman with GCP Applied Technologies. And I want to thank Cynthia Kane for inviting me as a guest to this session. It was extremely informative. I just had a couple questions. The charts that you presented today, will we have access to those via Beth or Cynthia? And a second question, oh, sorry.
No, Beth will send the presentation, and Emma after. You will have the PowerPoint presentation, the PDF presentation after it. Correct,
Excellent.
Beth?
Yes, as well as the recorded session. So you will have a recorded session as well as Christelle's full slide deck.
Oh, great. Thank you, Beth.
Of course.
The Toulouse information on mobility and transportation. How do we get more information on that?
Same thing. I really did an overview. So same thing. I can send you a little bit more details about the initiative. They have also some website about French Smart City Initiative by cities. We have several law and stuff. So I think same thing. If you're interested to go into more details about that, same thing as I said to the previous two areas, I think I'll be ready to send you a little bit more information about it.
Thank you. Merci.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Stephanie, did you have a question? Stephanie Rosenberg from Advanced Materials.
I did. Thank you, Beth. And thank you so much, Christelle, for your presentation. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
So along the lines, I know Harry had already mentioned a question in regards to the pharmaceutical industry. And I was wondering if you could provide some insight, not only on the pharmaceutical industry within France, as far as the native companies versus the % foreign companies. And then also if there's a pharmaceutical testing environment, what that might be for France.
Okay, testing environment. Okay. I'll get that on that and make sure that you both receive it. Testing environment as well. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, I didn't want to focus into too many, so that's why, sorry, I forgot some of them. So I just made it a little choice, but I think it's just to give you an overview, quick overview about what's going on. And I think France still get a lot of, I would say, opportunity for you, even with this COVID pandemic. I think we can see that we are now looking at having a great relationship and not, like I was saying, about pricing only, but building some stronger relationship.
I think it's important too for the legal group that's on the line too to understand which companies, which industry sectors are looking for a possible Delaware incorporation. So I think that was excellent. Do we have any questions from Alyssa Habbard or Justice Trainer or Alan from CT, any of our Vincent Ayard, any of our legal folks on the line for Christelle?
I don't have any questions. I appreciate the excellent presentation. It's been very informative, and like the earlier gentleman, I thank Cynthia for inviting me.
This is Alan from CT. I'd like to thank Cynthia as well. No questions here, but definitely we do a lot of business with France. CT is owned by a Dutch conglomerate, Wolters Kluwer, and being based in Amsterdam, France is certainly a very important market to us, as is Delaware, from the US standpoint and from the international standpoint. So certainly an area of large interest for us.
And I look forward to the trip, and I'm happy to help if I may be of any of assistance.
Thank you, thank you. Alyssa, we should talk afterwards. I know there is a Delaware company that probably could use your services.
Okay, happy to help.
Oh, that's great. Catherine Fenstermacher is on the call from Lightcure. Lightcure is a manufacturer of medical devices. They do cold laser treatments for physical therapy for people and for animals. Catherine, does Lightcure have a distributor in France? Maybe she's having difficulty unmuting herself. Well, we'll follow up there because that's interesting as well. And for all of you, the state does have funding. We have secured funding to help with the costs related to a CE mark. So that would be useful. I know Lightcure already has a CE mark, but some of you on the call may not. So there is funding available to help with those costs, as well as for up to half of your travel to the market. Do we have any other questions at this time? Alyssa?
Not at this time, thank you.
Okay. Okay, great. Well, I have 11 o'clock and I'll be respectful of everybody's time. And I want to thank all of you very much for your time this morning. Christelle, welcome. We look forward to hosting you here in Delaware as soon as you're able to come and you can meet with some of these companies and firms. We look forward to having you, and we look forward to working together in the future.
Thank you very much, Beth. Thank you, everybody, and hoping to see you in France in December, hopefully, for some of you, in face-to-face.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Beth. Thank you very much.
Have a good day in Delaware.
Good day, everybody.
Yep.
Have a good night, Christelle.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.